One of the sponsors of this championship is Louth Volksworld. They're a local company, and partners Darren and Mark join me now. First of all, you race together, don't you? Tell us a bit about that.
Obviously I'm the quicker one out of the two of us, even though Mark finished today, he got a bit of a help. So,
which is a lie, of course.
No, yeah, we raced together. Mark's been doing it 4 years, this is my second season, really enjoying it. Good lads here, good paddock, really helpful. Yeah, nice atmosphere to race in really, so that's why we got involved sponsoring it with John Hillen. It's something we wanted to be involved in for a number of years really. So motorsport is something we want to go into. It's not a core business at the minute, selling cars and repairing them is. So we have got a new centre, motorsport centre, opening up in about 2 weeks, and we're looking for an apprentice that can come and work for us, and is going to get a degree in motorsport at college, and as well as that we're going to sponsor him to build his own Mark II 8-valve and run him free of charge in the competition in the next 2 years. So it's a really good competition for a youngster to get involved in.
We also try and supply as many of the guys we can with parts. We bring a lot of second-hand parts because the cars are so old, so we try our best to accommodate everybody, and hopefully it's such a friendly paddock, everybody helps each other out, so that's why we like it. It's a good friendly series, but very, very competitive, and there's some very, very good drivers in there as well. So.
Well, the cat is set amongst the pigeons a little bit for race 2, because Jamie Martin, having suffered that clutch failure in race 1, doesn't actually take to the grid, which means it's Kevin Glover essentially lines up all his own on the front row of what is still, though, going to be a very packed field of cars getting ready for the off here then for the second race of the weekend at Cadwell Park. Green flag waved from the marshal at the rear of the pack in car with Martin Walsh as we get ready for the red lights to come on. They're on now. Who's going to get jumped from the line? Out they go, and away goes the field. It's a very narrow starting grid here. It's a great start from Mark Reynolds. Oh my goodness, he's been thrown onto his side, and he makes contact with Darren Drury, and both of them take an escape route from the circuit. Also off is Josh Johnson. So the two Volkswagen drivers have come together off the line, as have both of the Johnsons, Josh and Jake. It's Kevin Glover then who leads the way from Peter Mill, and then the rest of the field quite some way back. It's Darren Bedford in third, but that's all academic. The red flag is out. Now let's take a look at this from another angle. So Kevin Glover gets away well. It's a super start from Mark Reynolds. He then gets squeezed between Peter Milne and Darren Drury. Milne collects Johnson. Reynolds shows that he can do a nose stand in a Volkswagen Golf. And unfortunately, Reynolds, Drury and Josh Johnson are all casualties from that incident. So the field reassembles then, ready for the restart. And Kevin Glover now a little bit lonely at the front of the field. He's got Peter Milne just behind him, as the red light's about to come on once more. Here they go, and Glover, if he makes a clean getaway here, should lead into the first corner. As away he goes. It's not quite as smooth a start as he'd hoped for, but he now begins to climb up through the gears, and it's Glover who's got the advantage. Darren Bedford moves into second, and Peter Milne pushed to third. He's got Matt Weller trying to squeeze past him. It's still very competitive as ever in Class 1, as they all climb up out of Coppice and into Charlie's for the first time of asking. Alex Bomber Harris it is who's moved into the lead of Class 1 from the lines. They accelerate then out of Charlie's and along the park straight for the first time in this restarted and therefore slightly shorter race. And Gibbs looking to try and gain some ground in the early stage. He moves up ahead of Bomber, so that now leaves Bomber to the attentions of Rachel Pearson, trying to get on his tail as Matt Weller climbs out Darren Bedford. I don't know whether Bedford's got a problem because he was slowing going through Park Corner. Around Chris Curve they come, and it's Glover who leads, then Peter Milne it is in the grey 44 car in second, Matt Weller then in third, and Martin Walsh in fourth. So they jink down through the gooseneck. Then we've got that gap back to Jake Johnson, who's next up in the number 11 car, but it's really the fight for second and third, which is the one to watch, as Matt Weller is all over the tail of Peter Milne. And Milne, well, he's a quick driver, but we don't normally see him quite this high up the field, so he's going to be very keen to secure a podium finish. Matt Weller likewise will be keen to try and squeeze away past him, but into the mountain around the outside, there's no way through there for Matt Weller, so they jink through the mountain and up over the crest on towards Hall Bends. Very tricky sequence of corners, this unique challenge for the drivers. Really is like driving a country road, except at much higher speed, and with the arrival behind you trying to find a way through. Martin Walsh also in that bright blue car in fourth. He is lurking with intent if Weller were to slip up and make an error. We've got an in-car shot here. Martin Walsh, as they all move to the inside, Darren Bedford Bedford lets it out, runs wide. I think he must have a problem there. He enabled those 3 cars to go without really putting up too much of a defence. So it's Peter Milne who powers out of Charlie's onto the park straight once more. Matt Weller right in his wheel tracks. And this is an overtaking opportunity as they come to the end of the park straight into park. Inside Martin Walsh, though, he's lost track of the 5 seconds. Weller looks every which way to try and squeeze past Peter Milne. Oh, and he's lost it, he snatches a break, and around goes Matt Weller, or does he quite? He runs off the road, so Martin Walsh squeezes through. He climbs up into 3rd position. He's already onto the tail of Peter Milne, who had to take evasive action there as well. Weller just got that all roll on the brakes, maybe a little bit too much enthusiasm for Matt Weller. Hope he recovers from that. As he ran wide at park, it means that Peter Milne still in 2nd, but he's now got Martin Walsh right up on his tail. It's Kevin Glover, of course, who leads the way. We have another look at it from another angle, and whether he thought there was a way through, he just caught the brake, and the car got into a tank slapper onto the grass, and around he went. Weller should, though, be able to find 1st gear and rejoin, but Brian Passmore goes off and bang into Matt Weller's car. Oh, that's such a shame for the pair of them. Weller completely innocent, and Passmore incredibly unlucky, and that has prompted the arrival of the safety car. So the field bunched up once more. These drivers will have a couple of laps, I think, behind the safety car as Matt Weller's car is pushed out of the way by the marshals. Hopefully nothing damaged with the internals of that car, and a bit of new body work, and he'll be good to go later in the season. So the green flag once more, and it's Kevin Glover who powers over the line with Peter Milne in his wheel tracks. He's going to try and stay with Glover this time around. They have not got too much longer to go in this race either. Martin Walsh as well in 3rd. He will try and gain ground, and Dan Gibbs and Jake Johnson having a very nice tussle for 4th as well. And the 2 white cars, it's just Jake Johnson who's got the legs over Gibbs for the time being. So long park straight, and again the battle is really the one between Milne and Walsh. And as Martin Walsh going to be able to challenge into park corner, can't quite see, but we have got Kevin Glover though in the Jabba Racing car who leads the way. This would be a very strong double victory for Kevin Glover if he's able to hold on to the line. Instead, we've now got 4 cars all coming together to dispute 2nd, because Jake Johnson and Dan Gibbs are closing right up onto Peter Milne, and Milne is going to have to drive very defensively for the remainder of the race here, because he's got Walsh all over his trail trying to squeeze through, and then Johnson slithers a little bit wide at Mansfield, and that's going to enable Dan Gibbs to surge past him. So Dan Gibbs jumps into 4th, the tiniest error from Jake Johnson. And this is the real beauty of this championship. These cars are so evenly matched in terms of preparation, and the field's so competitive that the slightest error, your rival gets through. It's very hard to recover it back from there. We also caught a glimpse of our Class 1 leader, Alex Harris. So Martin Walsh, it is in 3rd, right to the curbs, Hall Bends, into the hairpin. Peter Milne just seems to be breaking away from Martin for the moment as Kevin Glover comes down out of bar. The checker flag is ready. It's a double victory for Kevin Glover here at Cadwell Park. A very profitable trip to the Lincolnshire circuit. Him 2nd place to Peter Milne, and Martin Walsh completes the podium. And it is going to be Bomber who takes the spoils in race 2 in Class 1, with Rachel Pearson in 2nd and Tim Cox completing the Class 1 podium. So it looked like the results then: victory for Glover from Milne and Walsh, Dan Gibbs then holding off Jake Johnson and Andy Warnes, and Chris Skip completing the top 7. In Class 1 it was Alex Harris who took it from Rachel Pearson, Tim Cox, Paul Cowland and Mark Hodder. Again, a very warm round of applause, and a popular winner in Kevin Glover. He gets to taste the champagne twice at Cadwell Park.
Bomber Harris, that was a better podium for you this time round, wasn't it?
Absolutely back where it should be. To be fair, Rachel drove very, very well, very defensively in the 1st race. And I had to work really hard at it the 2nd race. You know, we got the red flag in the restart, but there was a gap there for me to go through, so I just went for it, kept the pressure on, push, push, push all the way through.
Kevin, Cadwell Park's been quite good to you today, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite circuits. I hold the 8-valve lap record from a couple of years back, so I knew I was going to be quick. I just needed to put the pedal down.
Leaving Cadwell Park, this is how the championship standings look, with Alex Harris comfortably in command of Class 1 from Tim Cox and John Major. Jamie Martin likewise, sizable advantage over Kevin Glover and Peter Milne in Class 2, but the overall championship very, very tight between Bomber and Jamie Martin. There is everything to race for with just 4 races at Brands Hatch and Snetterton before we crown the 2012 champion.
A comfortable second win of the day for Kevin Glover. That's it from Cadwell Park. We'll see you soon for more great racing.